Hey there, welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, incredible Real Success Nation, incredible agents. It's Coach Bill Pipes coming at you as always, alive, excited, and full of energy. Back again, another Real Success. And today, guys, we're going to finish this year off strong. It is into 2016. We're jumping into 2017. And, there's been so much like weird, like conversation around Zillow, right? Let's just like throw it out there. And I lead so many seminars and see, tens of thousands of agents every single year. And there's like this polarizing line that certain people go, oh my gosh, Zillow's the best thing that's ever happened. We built our business around it. And others go, well, I can't seem to get those leads converted and they're not that good. And I'm just reminded of that great movie, Glengarry Glen Ross, and where they go, these are the Glengarry leads and you cannot have them. So for those great millennials that are watching, Google Glengarry Glen Ross. It's a great movie. You got to watch it. But, I look at Zillow really are the Glengarry leads. As long as you're a great agent with the right skills, with the right system, the right process, and obviously the right strategy. And this amazing, amazing woman that I get the chance to interview here today has really figured it out. She is one of the top Zillow agents when it comes to conversion. She and her team have had exponential growth over the course of the last couple of years. And she's just all around a woman that walks into the room and just lights it up. From her smile to her laugh to just her commitment to growth. And it's my pleasure to introduce you to my good friend, our great client, and a rock star, Miss Becky Garcia. Becky, say hello to Real Success Nation.
Hi, everybody.
Right on. So, Becky, why don't you give them a little update or a little overview, on who you are, how long you've been in the business, and what's the growth been like for you over the last couple of years?
Sure. My name is Becky Garcia, and I work out of the Phoenix area, primarily in the West Valley. I have been licensed for over 12 years. I started my team about 3 years ago. And as far as our growth, from the time we started our team in 2014, we closed 125 homes. 2015, we closed 191. And this year, we have so far 234 closed and pending deals out there.
Whoop, whoop. So 125 to 191, 191 to 234. And if our conversation serves me right, you crushed your goal. Your goal was 192 this year. Is that right?
Yes, our goal was 192. We had a stretch goal of 250 and are ending around the mid 230s.
230, 234, 235, right on. So tell me a little bit about your business model. I mean, I know you have a team. How large is the team and who's on it?
Sure. We have 8 sales agents that are, including myself, 8 additional sales agents, half of which have started within the past 8 months. So for a long time, it was a core group of about 5 sales agents, and then we added 4 within the past few months. And then we have 2 ISAs, which are inside sales associates. So they handle a lot of the incoming calls that come in first, and then any leads, signed calls, Zillow, anything like that, they handle a lot of the incoming first. And then of course we have 2 transaction coordinators, a marketer, full-time marketer, and then I myself have a personal assistant.
You have your own personal assistant. Okay, awesome. Hey, I'm just curious. I mean, what's your goal for next year? I mean, you guys 191 to 234, 125 to, you've got this great organic growth. You've now almost doubled your sales team. What's the goal for next year, Becky?
Goal for next year is 300, the elusive, 300 number. So that's what
the elusive. Yeah. It will fall. Oh yes, it will be yours this year, right? In 2017. So your business model, where does a lot of your business come from? Like how is it structured?
Sure. A lot of our business does come from the top, like what we call lead pillars would be like Zillow, Zillow, Trulia, pay-per-click, and then past clients and sphere of influence. Those would be our top 3. We have about a dozen, but those are the ones that make up the majority of our numbers. The rest are like sign calls, open houses, that kind of thing.
It's very interesting, Becky, because people come to Summit, or they'll come to Sales Edge, or they'll come to By Design or an event, that whether it's ours or someone else's, and they get all these wonderful ideas, and they try. Well, I've noticed this. They'll try and implement like 15 lead pillars, but you're telling me that there's really 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, I'm putting Zillow and Trulia together. There's 4 major lead pillars that account for what percentage? 80%, 75%?
Uh, as far as online leads are going to account for 58%, online leads alone account for 58% of the
Wow.
business.
How long
And
have you
that's,
been? How long have you
oh, go
been
ahead.
been running Zillow? How long have you had it?
Oh, it's probably been about 5 to 6 years.
5 to 6 years.
We
So you were
started,
one of the
yeah.
early implementers. Okay.
Yeah, when I was an REO agent at the time and could see the market changing, was going to be shifting from, to back to traditional sales. So got into Zillow when it was first, getting started. So yeah, as far as
Okay.
when we first started really hearing about it.
Yeah, because it was such a new commodity for so long. Hey, I got a question for you. Why do you think that so many people? I mean, like I said earlier in the intro, Zillow polarizes people.
Hmm.
Either there's two groups. There's groups that go, "Oh my gosh, it's the best thing." You guys, Crumbaker and Constantino, Dennis and Shar and Eric think it's amazing. Nazar, Kalaji, some of our great agents that are out there in the ecosystem say they can't live without it. And then there's another group that says it's the devil, right? So why do you think that it's such a polarizing component? Why do you think so many people don't believe in it as a great source? And why is it for you guys?
Well, I couldn't say for myself, when we first started using it, another agent that I knew had recommended signing up for Zillow, and I said, no, I don't want to use Zillow, and she's like, no, I'm telling you, they're really good leads. And in the beginning, for me, it was more about were they really bad leads, or was it that I wasn't uh, good at converting the leads? So in the beginning, I think for me, a lot of it was me just not being able to convert the leads. What I tell my agents is whether or not we're a fan of Zillow or we're not, it doesn't matter what we like, it's what the consumer likes, and the consumers are going to Zillow. That's the number one real estate, search site right now. So whether we like it or not, you know, that's where we want to be.
It's there. We might as well learn to play with it, right? We
Yes,
might as well learn to play, be in the sandbox with them. So, did you come out of the gates strong with Zillow, meaning that, I mean, because you're at I think your coach told me 10.9% conversion rate on Zillow. Is that correct?
yes. Altogether, it's just under 11%. Now that's for all online leads. So whether it's pay per click, Zillow, Trulia.
Wow, that's even. Hey, I got to tell you, that's even more impressive because you throw in pay per click and you throw in some of the other components that drives the average down, right? The overall average down.
Yeah.
So the fact that you guys are at 10.9, I mean, hey guys, everyone who's listening, you got to understand something. It's a 2 to 3% conversion rate for online leads is the market average. Zillow says a rock star is someone that's doing 5 to 6% conversion. That's their high end. And so we've got someone that's doubling it. So Becky, can you take us through what your strategy is, what you've learned works here with Zillow and with online leads that has made you so incredibly successful?
Sure. So I wrote down some things will refer to my notes so I don't miss
Right
anything.
on.
But for sure, speed to lead, of course, everybody knows, speed to lead. So our goal is to get to the call within 2.5 minutes of them, registering online. So speed to lead, of course. Also, we work what's called a 21-day process. So it's a combination of call, texting, and email over 21 days. So once we get to that 21 days, then it starts tapering down to a week. And then after a few weeks, it goes to monthly. And it pretty much keeps going until, they tell us that, either they buy or they just tell us to stop, reaching out to them. You'd be surprised. Most people it can sometimes take 16 responses before somebody will say, thank you for keeping in touch with me. I'm ready to buy now, or we're ready to come in and meet with you. So a lot of it doesn't happen until way, way into the number of contacts that we've reached out to them. Also, we make sure we reach out to past old leads. Like we're really big on reaching out to old leads. We just send them an email or a text message and say, hey, we spoke a few months ago, and at the time you said you were in the process of purchasing a home. Just want to find out, did you actually ever purchase that home? And you'd be surprised how many people, several months later haven't bought a home. So we reach out to those type of leads too. Also, I wrote down making sure that you have coverage pretty much all the time, 24.
Okay.
If it's possible for you to have some sort of 24-hour coverage, we have ISA coverage 7 days a week. So for us, that's really, really important, especially on the weekends, that we have somebody answering and texting and sending emails back all the time. So another one too is making sure for me, it's important to get them on my site. So even though they're on Zillow and they're looking on Zillow, we automatically set up our system. We use Boomtown, so our system, we're able to automatically set them up a search where based on if they just look at one home, it will automatically set up a search that shows them, okay, they're looking for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath for in this area at this price range, it can generate an automatic search. So I want them on my website looking at homes rather than realtor.com, Zillow, Trulia, or anybody else. So I
Yeah.
want
Get
them
them
on my
inside your
site.
ecosystem. Get them inside your
Mhm.
ecosystem. Get them sticky to you guys versus sticky to Zillow, right? So you pull them on.
Yes.
Okay,
And
5. Keep going. My gosh, like this is a phenomenal. Are you kidding me?
another thing we do is when they do come in, let's say we can't connect with them right away and we're not able to do that, then what we do is we will offer them, like, I'm sorry, let's say we connect with them, but they're in Idaho. We have a lot of relocation. Normally, of course, we would push for a buyer consultation or to meet with them if they're pre-qualified and ready to go. And if they're not, if they say, oh, I'm actually in Idaho, or it's like, okay, great. Do you use FaceTime? Do you use Skype? We can do we do a online, like a over the internet type of buyer consultation. So we offer them that, and it's just a matter of getting in front of them versus pretty much anybody else that's going to probably not offer to do kind of what we're doing right now, this type of
Is
buyer
that how you
consultation.
knew you were so, like when we were having the technical difficulties earlier? Like I'm like, oh, you can type on Google Hangouts. I had no idea because you use this all the time for the out of town buyers and get them face
Yes.
to face. Do you feel that makes a big difference?
Oh, for us, they love it. They love it. We've gotten listing consultations. If somebody, as a seller lead, oh, I just want to see what my home is worth. I'm just curious. And we're like, okay, great. Well, when's a good time, for us to call you? Do you use FaceTime? Do you use Skype? And like, oh, yeah, I do FaceTime or I do Google Hangouts or whatever it is. And then we just do that. Okay, well, we literally sit down and have like a seller consultation, just like as if you were sitting right in front of me. To me, it would make no difference. So we do
That's
that.
amazing.
Yeah. If we make sure to send our Zillow link to our review page, we make sure we always send that out if we can't reach somebody so they
How many
can see.
reviews do you guys have? How many reviews do you guys have?
We're probably around 170 right now.
Okay, 170. And your closest competitor on Zillow, what are they at?
144.
You knew that. That's what I
I did.
love. So you knew that. Do you use that as a benchmark? Like if your competitor gets a couple more, you guys are always building, building, building on that, right?
We're always building, we're always asking for reviews. But yes, I do like to keep track of what other people are doing and look at their, reviews and see, how far behind or how far ahead they are. So, and
Yeah.
that's a good thing to use to say on some of our marketing pieces, we're the highest, reviewed agents in our area. So that's definitely a tagline that we'll use on some of our marketing as well.
So I've got 7 things so far. I mean, like I'm happy if we walk out of these interviews with 3. I've got number 1. We all know speed the lead. It's been pounded into us. It's that 5 minutes, right? Is your team in communication within 5 minutes?
2.5, under 2.5 preferred.
Wow. So I'm a single agent. I don't have an ISA. How do I do that? Like I've got appointments. I've got dinner with my family. Like how do I manage that? And how did you guys cycle through that stage before you guys had ISAs?
Well, as far as with us, it was a learning process, and we didn't have the under 2.5 minute time frame. If in today's, I mean, it was different, 5, 6 years ago than it is now. Now they have programs, and yes, you do have to pay, but something like Follow Up Boss or something like Riley, those are programs that can all automatically send a message out to your client. And of course, Zillow Premier Services has it set up to where they can even set up an automatic email or I believe they can send a text message. We don't use that part of the program, but I believe they can send out a text message for you as well. So just making sure that you're maximizing what's available to you. If you're a premier agent, you have that app, then you definitely want to make sure to take advantage of all of the options that it gives to you. So
So
there
you
are
got
automatic ways.
three ways to automate this, and that's what I like to, and I've seen in your model is it's automated, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like whether it's Follow Up Boss, Riley, Boomtown, or the concierge service with as a premier agent for them to be able to follow up. You're not just
Mm-hmm.
leaving it on yourself. You got multiple filters. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You
Sure.
mentioned the 21-day process.
Mm-hmm.
Can you share a little bit of that with us? Like, what is this 21-day process? What does it consist of? I know it's like call, text, email, but take me through like the first couple of days of what happens.
Okay, so let's say a lead comes in at 8 o'clock in the morning. They'll go ahead and receive a text right away. They'll get two things, like a text and a call. And if they don't respond, then we set a follow up for that afternoon as well. So they'll get a second call, no message, but they will send like an email. So it's a combination of a call, text, email multiple times a day. For the first, let me just make sure I have it right. First 3 days is 3 calls, a combination of 3 calls, 3 texts, 3 emails, but only one.
Yeah.
So if we call 3 times, we're going to leave one message. So that's for the first 3 days, and then it starts tapering down from day 5 on. Then it's 1 call, 1 text, 1 email, and we try multiple times of the day. So I have some ISAs that come in really early and some that stay later. So we might try them in the morning, and we're also going to try them in the evening after hours. So we just set our to-dos, like our tasks for the day. We set them at specific times. So if 6 o'clock rolls around, and that's when the second round of calls goes out for those leads that came in that day. So it's really literally multiple calls, text, and emails every day. And the emails can be anything from a link, of course, like we'll set up an e-alert. It could be just something simple. Are you still looking to buy a home in Litchfield Park? It could be a link to our review page. It could be we just have like templates that we use, and
Yeah.
sometimes it's just like a quick email template too, a quick text template too.
Yeah. So just for those of you that are not Boomtown users, just so that you know what an e-alert is, it's basically sending out properties that have reached, it's hot sheet, et cetera. It sends out the information of properties that reach their criteria. You said something to me before we started this. I said, do you have drip campaigns? You said, yeah, we've got them embedded into Boomtown, but I really don't like drip campaigns. I don't like my team to utilize them, which was very surprising because this whole long tail, and the term is long tail follow-up, which is obviously not that first 10 days, but what happens much longer, is so critical according to Zillow. So I'm just curious, Becky, why don't you like longer term drip campaigns?
I feel like when we were using drip campaigns in the beginning, we kind of just relied on the drip. Oh, they got an email, and if they're interested, they'll respond back, versus picking up the phone and calling and really getting an idea of what it is that they want. We started seeing just email after email after email after email, no one picking up the phone, no texting. So that is why I don't like using I think we become, just, okay, they got an alert, we're good to go. They're good. So it just makes it more personable. I'm big on also us finding the home for them, instead of them just being on even if it's on an alert, just saying, hey, we have this, taking advantage of like our pre-listing. So we have a lot of pre-listing inventory that comes up. So saying, hey, I know you were looking at this home at 123 Main Street. However, we have another one that's going to be coming on the market in another week or two. When are you available to go and take a look at it? So we utilize our pre-market inventory. We look at hot sheets every day. If we see a really good deal on a hot sheet, which is just like the most recent homes that maybe a new listing, a price reduction, back on market, something like that, we'll send those out. Hey, I just saw this home, thought it would be a great fit for you. We'll send those type of emails out as well. Not just a drip campaign, but literally finding the home that would work, that we think would work for them based on what home they looked at on Zillow.
You're doing what I really like about that is you're doing something that they can't get from Zillow. You're doing something that they're not going to get just from an automated service or from a IDX search engine, which is fantastic. And I think that's critical. Like having something that's special and unique that you're calling for, absolutely important. What's the dialogue that you guys use? What is the conversation that you guys use when they're following up with, or your ISAs are following up with a new lead?
If it's on a phone call, then we go through the LP Mama script. So it would be something like, oh, okay, I saw that you were looking at this home on Zillow, and it's located in Goodyear. Is that the area you want to move to? Okay, that home's priced at $275,000. Is that the price range you're trying to stay in? Trying to find out their motivation. So okay, so in perfect world, when are you wanting to move into your new home? Okay, so I assume since you're looking on Zillow that you aren't already working with an agent. Okay, we'll have you talk to a lender to see what the mortgage payments would be on something like that. Is this the first time you've purchased a home? And then we kind of, well, no, I've never purchased a home before. Okay, great. Well, here's what we like to do with first time buyers. There's tons of questions that you'll have. We want to be able to answer all those for you. We have availability Friday at 4 or Saturday at 10. When would you like to come into the office? Set the appointment. Okay, just want to make sure. Is there anybody else who's going to be coming to the appointment with you? Your husband? Okay, great. What's his name? What's his phone number? Do we need to get him on the alert too? So we just go through the script as far as what.
I could give you a big kiss right now. I mean, like I'm going, oh, that's the script. That's the LP Mama script. It's so amazing. Yeah, I assume since you're looking online, you aren't working with an agent. Yes.
Yes.
Oh.
Are you working with an agent? No. Okay.
Yeah.
No.
Dude, next time I see you, you get a big hug from me because that was absolutely epic. And crew, everyone who's watching, clearly Becky has done this again and again and again and again. You know, Becky, when was it? Was it Orange County Sales Edge that you were at?
Yes.
Yeah, your Orange County Sales Edge. You know, like front of the room.
Second time.
Second time, going through the scripts and dialogues. And the reason you do that is so that you can do that and you can polish it up a little bit. I'm so proud of you. That was inspiring to me as the leader of Sales Edge.
It's very easy to copy that same script through text messages too. So you can do the same thing through a text if they're ones who call. I mean, you can literally have that same exact dialogue through a text message and end it with setting the appointment. So
yeah,
it's
brilliant. I love it.
text.
So I cut you off on the reviews. You were going through, if you can't connect, you use video, and then we talked about reviews. So I just want to jump back into if you had any other notes that you were going through in terms of the process or what makes you guys so successful.
You know, another thing that we utilize from the app, if you use it, is it has the ability to record every conversation that you have. That's really, really important to go back. And even though I feel like, you know, whether it's me, the agency, ISAs, you can actually listen to the phone calls. So I do go back. In fact, this morning I was on there and a couple of made me cringe a little bit, but it's a training, training tool to be able to go on there and say, okay, I want you to listen to this. You know, where could we have done better at, or where did we miss, whatever it is. So we do go through and listen to the calls as well. So that's really, really important if you have that capability to go through and listen to the calls. So I had that down. And then also,
so let me stop you really quick right there.
Sure.
You still are listening to your own calls and going, how can I get better?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
For yourself,
Yes.
and also for your team, and obviously as a coaching tool for your team. You know,
yes, there's times when I answer the phone, I'm like, even I cringe at myself when I hear the tone. I must have just been really aggravated about something when I picked up the phone, and you can hear it in, sometimes when you come across. So yeah, it is a little hard to listen to, but absolutely necessary.
So necessary. You know, Tony Robbins, one of my mentors and friends, says constant and never-ending improvement. And certain people just, they don't want to listen to what they sound like, and ultimately it's like a golfer that never gets better, or that can't get better because they're never looking at their swing. And we don't know what we don't know about what we're saying and how we're sounding to the other person, or even responding. So such a critical component. Such a great point. Okay, and please continue. I'm going to page 2 of notes that I'm taking.
Okay, so I talked about that. Also, too, one of the things I think that is important, I know I mentioned FaceTime and Skype, but also sending video messages. If you can't reach someone, just, our emails will also contain a video message from us. Like, hey, you logged on to Zillow and I saw you were looking at a home. I mean, we can have that same conversation, initial email, through video. So definitely, if that's an option, to
do you use email? Do you use email or do you use text for that video text? I know, because we can short message on text, but longer on video. What have you found to be the most effective way to use video for that?
Yeah, for us right now, we're using it through email because I have BombBomb, so it makes it really easy to use, and
Good.
I can track when somebody's opening the email. So that makes it really easy for me. However, I talk to a lot of other agents who say they're having really good success with using video and text messages too. So that, that's not anything I'm doing yet, but it doesn't mean I won't start using it. So,
but either one, it's that degree of separation. Someone sees you. You guys have done that when it's someone that's living out of state that's moving in. Now you're using it for people that actually are in the area as well too. So what is the video text or the video email? What does it say? How long is it? Can you give us an example?
Sure, it's just really quick. Let's say we haven't been able to connect with, let's say we haven't connected with them. It can be something as simple as, hi, I just wanted to let you know, for instance, right now we have a down payment assistance, that's the one we're getting a ton of responses on. We have a down payment assistance program here that's giving up to $20,000 towards down payment. So it might be, I saw that, hey, wanted to, hi, Bill, you registered on my site today, and I saw that you were looking for a home on Buckeye. Did you know that right now there's a program that's giving up to $20,000 in down payment assistance? I want to give you the details. Call or email me back as soon as you have a chance to talk to you soon. And that's all it is. And I want to know more about the down payment assistance program. So we'll use some of those too.
Excellent. So whatever it is that you got to have some little hook. You guys have the down payment assistance program. There's grants, things along those lines, depending upon where you are, or even these off-market listings that you're talking about as well.
Correct.
Too.
Yes,
Yeah.
have a new listing coming on the market that I think would be perfect for you. Give me a call as soon as you have a chance. Also, the like for instance, if we're doing the down payment, our subject line is what would you do with an extra $20,000, and that's the
Mm.
subject line. And then that's the one that gets the most open rates. So just coming up with some sort of subject line that catches their eye, I think is important too.
Something that's catchy, something that's unique, and something
Hmm.
that's relevant for them as well too. Right?
Hmm.
Cool. Holy cow. Like 9 things. Is there is anything else? I mean, you have this. I mean, I don't, someone can watch this right now again and again and again and just take 2 of these and implement them. And all of a sudden, and it isn't just Zillow, it's the guys, this is online leads. We're just inside this world and this funnel of Zillow. And Becky, people always have this hallucination that you've got to spend $20,000, $30,000 a year to get the results that you're getting off of Zillow. If you don't mind me asking, how large of a spend do you have on Zillow?
Sure. With Zillow, I did run my numbers for you just to, give you some idea of what that would be. Year to date, which I know sounds like a lot, but when you hear how much actually came from it, it isn't that much. A year, I'm sorry, oops, I lost my year bit here. 42,000 was what I spent for the year, and we have brought in over 420,000 from Zillow leads.
Whoa.
Yes.
Holy. Okay.
So it might
Holy
sound like
shit.
a lot, but
It's only a lot if it's not returning. I mean, that's
yes.
one of the things to look at in terms of investment, and hopefully you've learned that in Team Plus too.
Oh yeah,
Who's your
for
Team
sure.
Plus? Who's your Team Plus coach?
Yvonne Arnold.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah. Big shout out to Yvonne, right? The no BS coach. And wow,
Yeah.
she was amazing. That's right. I can't believe I
Yeah,
forgot
for
that.
sure.
But so, I mean, but watch, 42,000, you're spending less than $4,000 a month and it's returned $420,000.
Mhm.
So guys, as we talk about spending money, investing in your business, it isn't a matter of am I spending too much? It's is it giving me a good return on investment? And that's how you've really got to look at this because if you're spending 3,000, Zillow's returning or online's returning 300,000 or 200,000, do that all day long, like because you've got the system. So why is it that certain people don't get these results, Becky? And what do they need to change? Like if you had 3 things for the average agent out there who's using Zillow or online leads that they needed to change, what would those 3 things be?
Follow up start with a follow up at speed to lead and literally follow up every single day up until a certain time where, I mean, for us, it's 21 days is what we do. And then we go from there. I can tell you what we did. And I think this is important for other people to do in their market was we tested other agents. We pulled a list of agents, top agents that we thought, in our area and that are heavy advertisers on Zillow and Trulia and called them as a, not called them, I'm sorry, registered as a user, ask for them to return the call. You would be surprised how many never called, never emailed, never sent a text, or sent one. The most we ever got was 3. And we tested probably close to a dozen agents in the area. And
Wow.
there's a lot of opportunity out there if you just do the follow up.
I heard something from Zillow that first of all, that we hallucinate that other agents are following up a lot, but the reality is what you're telling me, it's 1 to 3. Zillow says 53% of their premier agents never follow up once
Hmm.
that
I
are
would say
paying for these leads.
I would say that goes alongside with what our findings were. There were quite a few that did not even send anything. And these are agents like that are, like I said, top, what would be considered top
Top
agents
agents.
in the area. Hmm.
So number one, I've got to follow up and I got to be willing to do it long term, sending emails, sending a text message. I've got to, whether it's 10 days, 15 days, 21, just more than 3 for goodness
Yeah,
sake, right? Okay.
yes, for sure.
What's number 2? What's number 2 if I want to crush it? Like where would I start from there then?
I would say implementing like the video, just the video, the tech. Don't be afraid to text message. We just started using Riley, and that will text message people at if they register at 1 o'clock in the morning, they're going to text them at 1 o'clock in the morning. You would be surprised how many people respond to. I have yet to get one text that says why are you texting me in the middle of the night? They're like, you know what? We had one guy that told us, I work at a refinery. I'm so sorry to, communicate with you in the middle of the night, but this is perfect for me and they had this whole conversation while we were asleep. So
Now, what is Riley? I'm not familiar with this. I heard you mention it earlier in our interview. What is Riley? Are they live people? Is it automated? What is it exactly?
it's just text message. So if somebody goes into Zillow, a pay-per-click, Trulia, whatever, lead like that goes into my Boomtown account, it will automatically go to them and they'll send an initial text. I believe they just try, if they respond, they'll only try texting twice. It's really just like an answering service for you in the middle of the night. It's how I look at it. It's going to just initially send out a text message for you. It's going to send out no more than two. They'll make 2 attempts, and then you pretty much take it over from there. However, if the other side, if the buyer engages, then or buyer or seller, then they will go into a full blown conversation up until the point of they'll take it as far as they can to an appointment, and then they transfer it back over to you and let you know. But you'll wake up and have emails. Okay, this person's been transferred to you, and then you look at it and you can see the conversation that
And
they
you
have.
get the string of the text message conversation. That's brilliant, Riley. Okay. Oh, I learned something today. Yes. Right. That's amazing. So that's one. So one is you've got to be able to follow up for a long period of time. Don't be afraid. Number two is you've got to be able to utilize video or Riley for text so that there is that communication. Number three, I want to crush it at Zillow. What do I do, Becky?
Go back to all the leads that registered for you within the past couple years. Go back to all your old leads and just send them. We literally will send a text that just says, are you still looking to buy a home in Litchfield Park? And that's all we send. And you'd be surprised how many people say, well, actually, yes. Well, no, not right now. Or I was thinking about it, but whatever reason. So I would say go through your old leads, and just see what there's so much that we get from the old leads that we just say never responded to us in the beginning, and maybe it's a few months later, and there they are. They're ready.
What a great idea for the end of the year. Here we are, it's the end of the year. What an amazing idea to be able to start January off strong is to just go back to all those old Zillow leads. So if you're a premier agent or you have online leads, hey, Becky just gave you your coaching assignment, guys. There's your coaching assignment. Go back through all those leads and, utilize, what was it? Are you still looking to buy a home? Still looking to sell a
Yeah.
home? Pretty simple.
And
Brilliant.
that was a line that I saw somebody share on our coaching page, so that's what I started
Uh,
using. So mhm.
So this is overwhelmingly good and overwhelming just to start with those three, but then there's 9 other ones as well too. So Becky, one of the questions I always like to ask everyone on Real Success is about their morning routine. So do you have a morning routine? And if so, what is it?
Okay, full transparency. Yes, I have one that I'm supposed to be doing, but I'm going to be honest with you. So what it would look like when I'm doing it is I wake up 5 o'clock, go to the gym, get ready, come home, make breakfast while I'm eating breakfast. I do my journaling, affirmations, what are things I'm grateful for, goals for the day, and then my big, long-term goals. So, and then be at the office by 8:30. Right now, I've gotten a little off course, but my focus right now has been getting my daytime schedule in order. So I've really been doing that, and it's really made a big difference. I'm leaving the office at when the sunlight is still out versus, 7 or 8 o'clock at night. So I'm kind of working backwards right now,
Good.
but yeah.
Yeah. Avid reader, avid listener to Audible. Do you
Audible.
Audible? What is the best book that you've listened to this year on Audible?
For me, this year would be Grant Cardone. Of course, I love him. So,
Love that guy,
intellectual.
man.
So,
Yeah.
but the one I think that helped me the most, which I read at the end of last year, was Four Disciplines of Execution. I think that really got me going as far as setting up the team, making sure, setting up the accountability for them. And I mean, we're really, really big on accountability. They track everything. So they
Good.
track every call, every conversation. They have to track everything. And that's the other thing I guess I would say too is, for us, of course, Yvonne's my coach, so she makes us track and, everything. So I would say just fall in love with the numbers as far as tracking when it comes to ROI, when it comes to conversion, because that's for us, that's like the biggest thing for us. If we see something and I see it's not, giving me the return that I want, I think nothing of going ahead and cutting it. Where a couple years ago, I probably would have just kept doing it because that's what I've always done. So
Yeah.
I think that's good too.
Beautiful. Yvonne is such a great coach when it comes to that, like
Mhm.
tracking, monitoring, because numbers are the language of business, right, Becky? I mean, otherwise we get caught into this qualitative component of what we think or feel works or doesn't work versus really looking at the nuts and bolts and the numbers. Excellent. What inspires you? What keeps you, I mean, look, 125, 191, 234. What drives you and what keeps you inspired and keeps you constantly growing? And with that great attitude that you have.
Well, for me, yes, I love what I do and I'll, everything that goes along with it. But for me, it's seeing the other ladies on my team go from having, being a stay-at-home mom and making absolutely, no income to I have one that's going to make about 90,000 this year. So when you have somebody like that or somebody who's used to making, 30,000 a year and struggling to pay bills, when they come to you and say, "Oh, I paid off all my credit cards. Oh, I paid off my car. I was able to buy a house," things that they were never able to do, to me, that I would say, that inspires me more than anything that, I do alone. So
Yeah.
it's great to see them, benefit from this too. And they
Well,
work really
Becky,
hard. So.
you have done such an amazing job of transferring your skills. And that's not an easy task. There's so many agents out there that are great salespeople that end up building a team and failing as a leader because they don't realize the transference of skills and the transference of leadership is so critical. And you really have, and you lead by example. I mean, you're there with your entire team, like we said at Sales Edge and at every event, and you're still growing and you're still learning. And at this point, it's not about you, it's about them. And that makes
Mhm.
complete and total sense. Anything you want to leave the guys, the all Real Success Nation with here? Any parting shots for them?
I would say when something you just mentioned and brought to my head too, when we get a lot of requests, like especially from other team leaders, or if they're just getting started, even if they're just getting started, what makes things different? And for me, in the very beginning, I was like, okay, here's Boomtown. I got it. Here you go. You guys, this is for you guys. You guys learn it. You guys deal with it. I don't want to deal with it in the very beginning. And then finally they're like, okay, what's the status of this? What's the status of that? They're like, "Okay, it's all in Boomtown. If you would just look." I'm like, okay, I'm going to sit down and really learn the system. So I think for anybody that, whether they're a single agent or a team, really know your system, especially for me, especially knowing it and knowing, okay, I can tell the agents I'm struggling with this. I know how to go in and I know from front end to back end, whatever systems it is that we use. So I think that that just helps you to understand what they're going through and be a better leader, to be able to understand exactly what they're, okay, whether it's a struggle of a home search and knowing exactly how to go in and do it, to I'm having trouble with converting these leads. What can I say? I can see their conversations. I'll go in there and just say, hey, why don't you try saying this instead? Why don't you try telling them that? And that makes a big difference for them too. So I suggest monitoring what they're doing and knowing your systems from the back end, to the front end. So.
Be the leader that you are, that says, come with me as we take the hill, versus, hey, you guys need to go take that hill, right? Like you guys, you run it, you do it together. Well, Becky, I just want to thank you for multiple things. Number one, for this interview, which is chock full of so much information. I mean, guys, you got a 3-hour crash course in 40 minutes on how to crush it at Zillow, from the number one of the top premier agents in all of Zillow, if not the top premier agent, who is getting 10 times return on her investment. She laid out for you exactly what to say, what to do, what to text, what to video, the entire strategy. So thank you, Becky, for that. And most importantly, I want to thank you because you cannot be around you. Someone cannot be around you and not feel better leaving you. And that's one of the greatest compliments I can ever give someone. And honestly, when I'm around you and you give that great smile and just that laugh, it's something that resonates and sticks with me for a long time. And I know, and I've had conversations with other individuals, it does the same. You make people around you better, whether it's your team, myself, Tom, the entire ecosystem, and now the 25 to 30 or 40,000 people that will watch this. So I love you to death. I think the world of you, and just thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate you giving me the opportunity.
Yeah, for sure. If they want to send referrals to you, how do they get a hold of you?
Sure.
Or if they have questions?
Sure. Mobile number is 602-796-2873. Email is info@beckygarcia.com, BECKYGARCIA.com.
Awesome. Well, thank you again. And for all of you watching, watch end of the year. I know you're finishing strong. Most important thing, guys, How are you set up for 2017? Have you changed your environment? Have you changed your mindset? Have you changed your strategies? This is one of them that I know you implement. You're going to see 10, 15, 20 more transactions next year if you just put the ego aside and follow the plan and follow the strategy. So happy New Year, Merry Christmas, and most importantly, let's crush 2017 or happy holidays, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Festivus, whatever you celebrate. I want it to be a wonderful one with your family. And from one family member to another, Becky, happy holidays to you and yours. And guys, real success. If you have any support that you need, we're here, tomferry.com. And you guys have an absolutely fantastic couple of weeks until we speak again. Thanks again, guys. Bye.